Welcome to the Block Sitdown. It's the 1 Foot In podcast where we take 1 foot into the college football world, the college football realm. And today we got the post game for the semifinals game. We're gonna do preview for the quarter or to the we're gonna do post game for the quarterfinal games, and then pre-game for the semifinal games, and then we got news to talk about, a little bit of news, just re-signing up players, and then the transfer portal. It opened up a lot of players in there. We're not gonna talk about who jumped in the portal because we're beyond that at this point. The portal's up and rolling. We got a lot of commits to talk about. A lot of teams are changing, and that quarterback position is very needy, and the first couple weeks is probably gonna be quarterback for most teams. But there's a lot of rosters getting flipped, a lot of players enter the portal. 1/3 of the collegiate athletes or football players in this cycle is in the portal, so it's gonna be very interesting to talk about that. And yeah, it opens up for the next I think week now. Been open since the second. We're recording this on the 6th, so yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to who jumps in, and then how long it's gonna take for these guys to build these rosters. A lot of teams, and the biggest thing is a lot of teams are still playing, so they got to juggle that while also gonna play in a couple days, all the above. But yeah, it's college football at this moment. Hopefully it doesn't stay this way. Hopefully the calendar can change at some point. But it's just how it works, man. BJ, Slicks, how y'all doing today?
Doing good, man. I woke up a little bit on the extra tired side today. I just don't understand how people do it, bro. It's just so impressive to me to people who just be on it. I mean, to be fair, I feel like some people I feel like I used to wake up like a little right before I had to go work, so it's like a little wake up, take a shower, go straight to work. Now it's like I have to wake up, fucking find the time in between. So it's like those extra couple hours definitely helps. But yeah, we here though. College football, we here. It's almost we at the end of it. So let's get into this shit.
BJ,
How about you, VJ?
how was your holidays?
Yeah, yeah.
That was cool. I was chilling. I ain't. It was just I don't know, having a lot of fun talking with the guys. That's it.
My holidays were horrible. I started the new year with a loss because Ohio State decided to lose and play the worst brand of football this year. The Buckeyes fall to number 10, Miami, as being the 2 seed in this one. Previously losing to Indiana to lose that number 1 seed, to drop down to number 2, and now they get beat by the Convicts of Miami. Carson Beck only had 138 yards passing, a touchdown. Mark Fletcher 90 yards, just doing Mark Fletcher things. I'm seeing Charmar Brown started getting reps, and when I seen that, I was like, yep. Count our days, but it's over. CJ Daniels, I told y'all when he was healthy, he's going to be a problem. He was definitely a problem. Had a lot of crucial first downs and catches, and had our cornerbacks on skates a little bit. Malachi Tony, it was the one that was kind of went missing. Had a couple crucial potential fumbles. They fell on. He's injured on the second one. I'm pretty sure. If it was him on the first one, I know he didn't. I know Mark Fletcher was the one that fumbled completely. But yeah, very interesting. Um, just very interesting outcome because this is what you not expect from a Ohio State team that had basically 25 days to prepare, and in that time, I don't know what they focused on. Probably re-signing players, all the above. But this is them coming off a loss to Indiana, and you thought after losing all them awards and the Blitnikoff, Heisman, all the above, they'll take this shit and flip the script and go win another championship to go back to back. Not what happened. Julian Sayin threw 2 interceptions, both of them not his fault in my opinion. We talked about most of this game on the Buckeye Fan Film Room. I'm just gonna go through the stats and see if y'all have anything else to add. Julian Sayin 287 yards. Bo Jackson made the most of his carries with 11 carries for 55 yards. C.J. Donaldson got crucial minutes in his final collegiate game. Jeremiah Smith, he was doing Jeremiah Smith things against his hometown team in Miami. Jeremiah Smith, 7 receptions, 157 yards, a touchdown. Carnell Tate, I feel like he could have did a little bit more, but we got him involved a little bit. A couple more targets, but only was able to grab 3 receptions for 37 yards. And that Miami defense was fucking hitting. Brandon Ennis showing that he could be the number 2 at Ohio State next year, and maybe Ohio State doesn't need to go to the portal for wide receiver 2. Brandon Ennis brings in 34 yards. C.J. Donaldson 31 yards, and Charismatic, bruh, Kazmarek 28 yards, man. Shout out Peyton Pierce for forcing that fumble. And yeah, just a lot to be desired with this team, man. A big what if, and just overall just irritated, and just there's just a lot more left on the table. Plus, it's just this just feels like a waste of a year, bro. This is a team that should have won at least one playoff game. Come home with something. We're just regular season champions at this point, bro. They said we had the easy schedule in regular season, and maybe we did. I think it was definitely a lot easier than I would have liked because I want to see this team get tested from all angles. But we weren't. And it starts with the offense, defense, and special teams for this game. And that's how our season is gonna end. Anything else to add, gentlemen?
I mean, back to the comment of you saying you want to be tested. Obviously, this is like super like far in the future. Our next year's schedule for Ohio State, we're definitely be in the gauntlet. So if anything, well, watch out for next year. But obviously, that's the next year conversation. But yeah, to those who even looked at Ohio State schedule, obviously it's already released. We have Indiana on the schedule, so that's already a big opponent on it. But remember, we played Texas earlier this year. We're going to Texas next year. But like I said, this is all later down the road conversation. We could do it more deep and talking on the Buckeye Fan Field Room later down the road if you guys are interested to that. But yeah, how about you, VJ?
I ain't got much. Basically said anything that I need to say on the fucking Buckeye Fan Film Room.
Yep. Number one defense for the last 20 years or something like that, statistically, and gets thrown away. Matt Patricia made like kind of a interesting IG post, just basically thanking all Buckeye Nation, all the above. Kind of scared me. I don't know if he's gonna leave. But yeah. Hopefully he comes back because we kind of need him. Moving on to both the ass session. That's the only thing I can call it. Oregon Ducks number 5. Play Texas Tech. Number 4, Texas Tech biggest problem. Where's their offense going to come from? Is Cameron Dickey going to be able to carry this offense from the backfield? And Bear Moore had his worst game of the season by far. He threw 2 interceptions, but it felt like way more. Pretty sure he fumbled the ball. And then also Cameron Dickey fumbled the ball. And when your best players are fumbling the ball, you're not going to be in a good spot mentally. And yeah, they definitely weren't in a great spot mentally because they lost 23-0. Didn't you, bro? They went to the fucking Orange Bowl just to put up a donut, bro. Their only touchdown was when they landed in the airport. So yeah, Cameron Dickey didn't get nothing done. And just a horrible game offensively. Defensively, the defense did as much as they could. This is another one of them defenses that basically just got wasted because there was no real talent at the offensive side, man. And that's what they're gonna focus in the transfer portal. But Cameron Dickey, only 29 yards on 11 carries. Jacoby Williams was the leading ball carrier for 13 carries for 81 yards. Very interesting. But on the other side, Oregon's looking like one of the best teams in college football. That's why they're in the Final Four. And yeah, Dante Moore, 234 yards, very efficient with his numbers. 26 for 33 in completion percentage. Threw interception in there, but is what it is. But this rushing game I thought was going to be maybe a bigger factor because Noah Whittingham basically has been doing, or Whittington has been doing his thing for a while now on his team. Just been very consistent. Only 13 carries for 31 yards, so nothing, not a whole lot there. Kenyon Sadiq, Malik Benson, and just fucking like 11 other pass catchers, or 9 other pass catchers, 11 in total. Caught the ball from Dante Moore, so Dante Moore was slinging that rock and had everybody involved, and that's just what's gonna get. That's just all you need to get done when you're facing a Texas Tech team that doesn't have an offense at the moment. 23-0, and yeah. Very interesting, man. I feel like Barrymore went through a double coverage end zone, like a scoring potential scoring touchdown red zone interception, and I think that kind of cost them getting through. And in double coverage, I'm like, yo, this is not Barrymore, and I don't know what's going on here, but these cornerbacks were locking up. I forget one dude's name, but he had like a forced fumble, 2 interceptions maybe, or like, he was doing everything out there, bro. So this is something that a lot of teams need to hone in on. His secondary can get after it, and we knew that for a while. But this is the first time they cashed in, and maybe it's because Barrymore was a terrible had a terrible game. But I don't know what else to say. But then Oregon played their best football right now, and it's kind of led up to this point because of November or more of like a December schedule where it was like 3 potential ranked teams: Washington, Iowa, and all these mid-tier but upper echelon Big Ten teams, and they kind of just went through that schedule pretty easily, man, after the Iowa win, and it kind of went unnoticed. But Oregon's been quiet for a while. Evan Stewart's still questionable. It would be very interesting to see if he can play in the semifinals or if they get that far in the finals for a national championship. Very interesting. VJ, how you feel about this? This is expected? Pretty expected, right?
I'd say I'd expect it in terms of like overall talent. I didn't expect that first half was very, very tight knit. I'll be honest with you. The score was a lot lower than everyone would expect, bro. in that first half. Second half, you kind of basically just saw Oregon take that step and basically just made the adjustments and grabbed it. I think Texas Tech they kind of just showed what the strong point was obviously defense, but then it kind of just showed the fact that okay, we got outmanned second half a little bit, couldn't make the adjustments, and it is what it is. It does suck that they had to drop a fucking donut for it though, but overall though, kudos to Texas Tech for even making it. I'll be honest with you, this was a team that honestly snuck in, caught everyone off guard in terms of like, oh shit, this team just broke out of nowhere. So kudos to them. Hey,
money.
Hey, doing something over there. So obviously, for them, it's like you just kind of gotta rebuild and take a year by year type of thing, like take season by season and just go up. I think for Oregon is just keep riding that momentum high, bro. Y'all facing you just beat arguably one of the best defenses in college football. I don't know the rankings obviously, but they're one of the best. I know that. So now you get a rematch that you want. So that's all I can really say.
Here I got y'all drive chart for Texas Tech. 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punt. Second quarter, 2 plays interception, 6 plays missed field goal, 7 plays fumble, 3-and-out punt. Halftime, 3-and-out punt, 3 plays fumble, 12 plays downs, 10 plays interception in the end zone, 4 plays downs, 6 plays downs, 1 play into the game. So yeah, not much to take from that. Because they scored 0 points, and I don't know what you expected, but I ain't gonna lie, it was only close because Oregon scored only 6 points in the first half. So yeah, Slicks.
Yeah. This. I honestly, I thought Texas Tech was gonna like they obviously showed some fight, but I was expecting maybe get the score first, put it on Oregon, right? Because obviously Texas Tech defense came out like literally like on fire. They was lighting Dante Moore up, lighting up the whole O-line damn near. I was like, oh shit, we got a game. All of a sudden, though, they couldn't convert no point. Oregon strike first. I'm like, well, shit. I mean, good thing for Texas Tech. You kept them 3 points, not TD. I'm like, shit, we still got a game. They're like, but then we go back to Texas Tech, the other side, and it's like, well, damn, shit. They get some explosive play here and then, but what does it convert to? Nothing. I'm like, well, shit, what the fuck? Well, if they're not gonna be able to score any points, then I don't know what they're going to do, because it seems like obviously Oregon, their offense they're going to eventually get it done on offense. Whether it's due time, this is time where Texas has got to capitalize on these 3 points that Oregon is converting instead of the regular TDs. These is the time where they got to convert something, and they just didn't. They came out short every single time. Obviously, Morton definitely did not play his best game whatsoever, and honestly, the one thing that I was hearing the whole time when Oregon was out on defense, Brandon Finney Jr. Let me say his whole name. That guy, yeah, he was everywhere. He got 2 interceptions, right? Yeah, he got 2 interceptions. I'm pretty 2 interceptions and 1 like fumble recovery. It was just wow. He was everywhere on the field. So shout out to him, and yeah, shout out to Oregon. I mean, last year, obviously, we all know how that went. They come home this year around. They won the Orange Bowl, and they finally get that rematch in Indiana. And yeah, Texas Tech. I mean, kudos to y'all to making it this far. If only y'all could have got something on the scoreboard, but hey, y'all kept the game not too far out of hand. But by the time it got to the fourth quarter, it basically was out of hand. You didn't have enough time to do anything, and Morton wasn't playing his best game, so it was a big hill to climb. So yeah, that's all I got. Cameron?
Morton had more tackles than passing touchdowns. But shout out David Bailey, man. A forced fumble, sack, and a couple tackles to go along with it. But played his best game. Unfortunate that the offense couldn't cook up nothing because the defense was doing as much as they could, bro. Drop the donut, man. Is what it is. It's kind of like what expected from Texas Tech. We kind of was like, what can the offense bring? And that's why I was like, is Cameron Dickey gonna be able to be Cameron Dickey, and is Morton gonna be able to be Morton? Neither one of those were a thing. So yeah, shout out Oregon. Moving on to the semifinals to face Indiana rematch preview. Gonna be later in the video. Moving on to another both-ass session. Indiana. This is a team that was the first team in the 12-team playoff format to have a top 4 seed, have a bye week, and be able to do something with it. And they win 38 to 3. Biggest Crimson Tide loss I think since like the 90s or something like that. This is something that is gonna have to define Kalen DeBoer. Not define him, or is it gonna define him? Is gonna be the real question. Yeah, number 9 seed Alabama only put up 3 points. At least they did more than Texas Tech. At least they didn't just take a plane ride for free and just basically put up a donut. They didn't do that. Yeah, Ty Simpson basically got injured halfway through the game. Austin Mack had to come in, and once I seen Austin Mack on the field, I was like, yep, wrap this shit up. There's no comeback. And Ty Simpson also led the team in rush yards. So good for him, man. Yeah, still Jam Miller. He had more receptions than carries. I just don't know what's going on at this point. Daniel Hill, 5 carries, 13 yards. Like, yeah, it was just a bad day. Ryan Williams didn't drop a ball though. Good stat to keep, I guess. But Ty Simpson, yeah, had a fumble loss and just wasn't close, bro. They put up 17 points in the second quarter. Indiana did. And yeah, talk about fucking Mendoza, 200 yards, basically 3 passing touchdowns. Kalen Black 100 yards. Roman Hemby damn near 100 yards. And those two combined for like 33 carries. And then the receiving game, Charlie Becker, 51 yards, Omar Cooper, 45, Elijah Surratt, 40 yards, all these guys that everybody is accustomed to at this point. And yeah, the defense get after it, 3 sacks for Indiana's defense to hold them to 3 points. And that's it for the Rose Bowl and for Alabama's season. That was once magical. Kind of took, a lot of ups and downs, and it ends on a down, and a whole lot to more be desired for this DeBoer era and for Alabama in the future. VJ, how do we feel about this?
I just think, I think this, obviously, it's always going to be different when you expect Bama, because obviously there was everyone knows the Nick Saban thing, but this is the one time I really truly would say they got outmanned bad. I got outmanned. I think Indiana definitely put it on them, bro. It just felt like after that first quarter, it just felt like, yeah, Indiana just, once they make that small adjustment, because it felt like Indiana was just right there in that first quarter. Here and there, I think they were really just testing out, the waters, because I know the Rose Bowl was basically having a fucking tsunami-like weather over there, so yeah, she was going crazy. But at the end, hey, man, Indiana just kind of took it away, and so I was like, yeah, they made that small adjustment. Now they're getting points. It's like, it just felt like they could do whatever they want by the second quarter. And then Alabama just couldn't do nothing else. So kudos to Bama. I mean, it is what it is. Indiana, I mean, they break that curse. You just said it earlier. They break that curse of the top 4 seeds getting a bye. They're the first team to break it to where they actually won it. So, hey, man, Indiana, they on that hype train, man.
Top 4 seeds are now 1-7 in the 12-team playoff format. Also, this is exposed Alabama and their lack of a run game. Slicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost poetic, right? Indiana being the first team to, getting a bye week in the college football playoff, and they managed to win. Win against Alabama. Like I said, this is not the same, Nick Saban, Alabama, but still, who would have thought fucking you hear Indiana beat Alabama? Whoever the coach is in, it's like, what, Indiana beating Alabama? You probably wouldn't expect to hear that, but again, this is college football. Time have changed. There's transfer portal all over the place. But yeah, first quarter. I mean, Alabama seemed like they would try to give Indiana a run for the money, and they started just blitzing Mendoza. Like I'm talking about, they was getting at him. I'm like, oh shit. Well, I mean, at least Alabama showing some pride, right? Obviously, they at the Rose Bowl. They gotta do something, right? So they are. They try and keep it up, but like VJ said, but it sounded like Indiana was always right there, and they finally make that small adjustment, and that's all it was. That's all it took. And this Indiana is really no joke. This team, obviously, we already knew the moment they took down Ohio State, they basically became the real deal. Not saying they wasn't already, but that was like their last final hump, and they got over it. And now here they are in the Rose Bowl, first team to won after getting a bye week in the college football playoff. It just sounds all poetic for Indiana. They beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Beat Alabama. After getting that bye week, it just all sounded all poetic for them. But yeah, honestly, this Indiana team is just so good, and it's just hard to not see them not win at all, especially with their performance shutting down Alabama to basically 3 points. What more can you really do? So Yeah, that's all they got. I mean, yeah, another impressive thing was Ryan Williams didn't drop a pass. Obviously, he took a really big hit, and surprised he did not drop that pass. So it's just like, he's like, okay, at least somebody showed up to play. And then yeah, one time Simpson got hit with that fumble, and then they were like, yeah, buddy, you gonna have to sit this one out, man. You taking hits like that, you can't go no more. And then that was it. That was basically the game. But then Austin Mack came out. He tried to show us a fight. He actually threw you know threw some beautiful passes, but it didn't really amount to much. But at least they tried to show some fight. But in the end, it was already like 10 step ahead, and yeah. Cameron, final thoughts?
Yeah, shout out Indy in a 14-win season now could stretch it to 15 and or 16. And people are not talking about this, but they literally undefeated, bro. They win all this. And you just think of just things of why couldn't they win? Oh, Big Ten championship. Oh, Ohio State has better commits. All the above. Maybe the better coach. They win that game. Oh, they got all these bye weeks and been off 25 days. Are they too high on their horse? No, they're going out and fucking splatter fucking Alabama. This gonna be their first bowl game win since 1991 in the Copper Bowl, where they faced Baylor and won 24-0. And yeah, shout out to Gnetti, man. Took a 3-9, a 3-9, a 3-win team 2 years ago and flipped them to 11-2 and now 14-0. Very interesting for Gnetti because he asks a lot of questions or makes a lot of questions for a lot of other college football programs. Why couldn't y'all do this? Why can't you do this? Asking their head coach. Ole Miss goes and has the biggest upset of the first round. I don't think Miami and Ohio State was that crazy. This is crazy. Ole Miss, number 6 seed, and their Division II National Championship quarterback in Trinidad Chambliss go and beat number 3 Georgia in that Kirby Smart led team. Why? Who has the edge here? Kirby Smart has the edge, not Georgia. Kirby Smart had the edge, and they were able to win even with the refs on their side, on Georgia's side. Georgia on Georgia's side, Kirby Smart coaching there, and Ole Miss is able to get the upset 39-34. Kewan Lacey, I didn't know how much a factor he could have been because I knew Georgia locked him out the last time, and he kind of was slow in maybe the first quarter, second quarter, but he found his stride, 22 carries for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. And yeah, the receiving core, everybody got the ball, bro, because Trinidad Chambliss had 362 yards, and one of the best college football playoff performances we've seen probably ever. And yeah, 2 touchdowns to go along with it. Harrison Wallace with 156 yards. Dejon Stribling, 122 yards. Caden Lee, I don't know why he's the third one, but there's a lot of guys on this team, bro. Winston Watkins was silent with only 1 catch, and he's a true freshman. So yeah, this Ole Miss team knows how to throw the rock, and they throw it pretty fucking well, bro. Even with Kewan Lacey's fumble, they were able to win this game, and there was a whole lot of shenanigans at the end, man. Oh, we got to put seconds back on the clock. I felt bad for the people that had to push the stage, bro. Push the stage back on the field 3 times, bro. There was ice on the field on the last play of the game, bro, because people were already celebrating, bro. Like, yo, can I just get my win? No. The refs do not want the win to go to you guys, obviously. But yeah, Gunnar Stockton has nothing to be ashamed about. He was the one that was out there hooping, bro. 200 yards for him, a touchdown passing, and then 2 touchdowns rushing. So shout out him. Nate Frazier with 86 yards to help him. Zachariah Branch, he's their main guy. 8 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown to go along with it. But Gunnar Stockton did have a fumble. But yeah, this defense didn't get no pressure on Trinidad Chambliss, and that's going to be the biggest key factor, in my opinion, of why he lost the game. Trinidad's usually a big monster carrier with the ball in hand, rushing yards wise, only had 14. And yeah, Georgia's defense did not get after it, bro. And it's one of the things where Ole Miss was just getting the same looks. I feel like it was just like the similar of last game where they faced each other. Like, oh, Ole Miss came away with points, Georgia didn't come with no points. Field goal versus punt. And after I seen that, I was like, yo, Georgia's gonna play catch up, and they played catch up. They played it pretty well, but that Ole Miss offense is too high power, and with 20 fourth quarter points, it's gonna be very hard to beat this Ole Miss team. And the only thing you could say is, hey, maybe Pete Golding isn't the guy. Maybe he's not a good head coach. Or maybe just he got the ball and got the head coaching job a little too late in the cycle, and maybe he's not ready for this. But now it's 2 playoff wins, twice as many as Lane Kiffin. And yeah, people now ask the question: why did Lane Kiffin leave for LSU if Ole Miss is right here and they could have done this? Very interesting question. I feel like people are only saying this because of this upset win where Georgia wasn't playing their best football on defense and most of the offense, excluding Gunnar Stockton. But Ole Miss was able to take advantage. You can't take nothing away from this team, and their only loss was to Georgia. So now they're 13-1 and with a chance to play for a national championship still. VJ, how do we feel about this Ole Miss team right now and Trinidad
Hey,
change? Division 2 national championship, Division 1 national champion. What is he gonna do? Is he gonna get the 6th year of college football? That would be crazy,
hey,
right?
who knows, bro? I mean, Ole Miss kind of just. I think the one thing that I naturally would say is compared to that first game that they had earlier in the regular season, they made that adjustment, and look what had happened now. They made that small adjustment. They didn't pretty much let it go. This was a grade A bang out from fucking damn near the first quarter. I was like, oh shit, these teams are after this. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be fucking fun. Granted, I'm pretty sure last week we all like damn near talked about like don't sleep on Ole Miss. Like people had like Georgia like. Oh yeah, Georgia's gonna make the adjustment and they're gonna fucking run this shit down. Like, nah, Ole Miss still got it, bro. Like, they're still gonna keep this tight. Obviously, I did choose Georgia to win, but I was like, this still gonna be a tight ass game though. Like, don't sleep on Ole Miss. So they came through, put it off, and man, these guys are riding a high, bro. I know it's just fucking it's cloud 9 for them, bro. They're just going absolutely fucking insane. All right, like crazy moments. Like what I see from the Ole Miss. I honestly like what I see from Georgia in terms of like the grittiness they have. It's just they just could not maintain that stature of a lead. Essentially, they're always just like you just said it best. They were playing catch up essentially. Like when Georgia literally has that momentum where they can just go and play their ball, they play excellent. But when they can't, man, it's like you're just watching Georgia play out of their zone, and they're doing good, but you just could tell they did not build this team to play catch up. They built this team to just hold leads and wear you down. So kudos to Ole Miss for making it. Georgia, amen. Better luck next time, I guess.
Georgia played some early catch up, but it was really Ole Miss that played a lot of catch up at the second half. That's why they had scored 20 fourth quarter points. And it was a long time where it was a couple times where it's like 2 possession game. And I'm like, ooh, so Ole Miss had the firepower to come back, and they were able to do that. And shout out to our defense for getting a lot of stops, a lot of needed stops. Slicks.
Yeah, I mean, I also picked Georgia to win, but like we all basically knew it. It was gonna be a close game. That's just how Kirby Smart liked to play it, and I just did not think it was gonna go this way, especially with Ole Miss striking first and the score basically being basically 6-0 going in the second quarter. It was just like, oh shit. Well, Kirby Smart got to answer back eventually, right? Well, he did answer back. Ole Miss scored 2 more field goal kicks, and they're like, all right, hold on, wait a minute now. Well, now it's 12-21. Now it's like, oh well, shit. Here it is. Here we go. Here it fucking goes. And Georgia's just gonna maintain this fucking lead. No, Trinidad Chambliss, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy was fucking running around all over that fucking field. And it's like, even though Georgia might not got like hit their defense, I mean, it might be the secondary. I felt the pressure was getting to Chambliss, but it just they could not get him down. And by the time he you run a whole fucking lap, he looked down the field. There's somebody open. He threw that bitch, and it just a completion. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck is Georgia secondary doing? Like how I just it was just crazy. What you call it? I mean, also another thing, and it's like, bro, it's hard to lose a game when your fucking field goal kicker is 3 for 3 and your long is 56, and I'm pretty sure he kicked 2 of them shit 50 plus. I'm not gonna lie.
56.
I'm not.
A new,
bro.
Sugar Bowl record.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If you have your kicker show up to play and he like giving you all that fucking momentum y'all need, like, hey, y'all do your part, I'm gonna do my part. What a kicker should do. Fucking Jaden Fielder. Anyways, Jesus. A little tilted. But yeah, it's just like, I genuinely can't even blame Georgia's offense from this. Like, we all basically said it. It's just like Gunnar Stockton did about 203 yards and 1 TD. He was going out there doing his part. He came out the ball. Fucking Zachariah Branch. I remember there was a play where it just like it was just Gunnar Stockton throwing the ball to Zachariah Branch. It was just getting it. Like, it was a crazy drive for them, and it was just like momentum was just it was there. It's like just when we all thought like Georgia was down out for the count, Zachariah Branch came and answered along with Gunnar Stockton. It's like, damn, they keeping this game close, but how close can they keep it? Well, not close enough, especially with Ole Miss getting the last drive and able to kick in the field goal. And then all Georgia had left was, to fucking do lateral off the kickoff return with 1 second left. End up being 1 second left. Like, oh, yeah, put that stage back over there. They got 1 second left. Redo it again. Oh, wait, there's a flag on the play. Flag on the play. Oh, wait, fucking Georgia recover. 1 second left. Past the 10-yard line. What? I'm like, Jesus Christ. Just Chambliss like, yo, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, let the game end.
He was like, bro, is it over?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Just give me my win, man. But yeah, this is one of them games for Georgia. I think you just got like tip your cap, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we played good, but
I mean,
they played good, man. And the thing that was key is that there was two PIs on the Ole Miss defense, the same guy, bro. And I think they were kind of like PI. I was like, yeah, but it was the Ole Miss defense staying with it, man, and really just like they were on like the 1 yard line at one point, bro. So they could have scored a touchdown and forced Ole Miss to score a touchdown at that point. And it was one of the things where I'm like, oh, Georgia's getting away with it, bro. Georgia's gonna get this one. And the defense held up, got the stop, and then gave Chambliss the ball back with only like a minute left, and his kicker was able to kick the game-winning field goal after setting the Sugar Bowl record for the longest field goal. And yeah, shout out to Chambliss. I'm pretty sure that was Stribling on that deep ball. That was like 40 yards. I'm pretty sure to put him in field goal range to win this game. And Ole Miss now moves on to the semifinals. Who would have thought this, bro? We got all the big dogs out the way. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State out the way. This is the first time in college football playoff history that none of those three teams are in the Final Four. So we're going to get a new champion, man. Indiana's never won it. Or Oregon's never won it. Ole Miss, I'm pretty sure, has never won it. And what's the last team? Fucking Miami. Miami hasn't won it in 20 years. So this is going to be an interesting Final Four, and I'm excited for it. And with that being said, let's talk about the Final Four. We got Miami and Ole Miss up first. Coming to you January 8th, 7:30 p.m. in the Fiesta Bowl. Number 10, Miami goes on. Don't go on the road. Let me chill. Play in the Fiesta Bowl against number 6, Ole Miss. Just talk about Ole Miss and that team, and this is going to be a very interesting matchup. We're talking about high caliber, high powered offense in Ole Miss going up against a red hot Miami defense that has Mesidor on one side, Ruben Bay on the other, and playmakers all around. This is going to be a very big test. We talked about the quarterbacks for Georgia. What the fuck are they doing? Well, these quarterbacks at Miami is pretty good as well. That was on display when they faced Ohio State. And yeah, this is a 6 seed versus a 10 seed, man. I'm real excited for this. These are two programs that where Miami's offense, what can it create for the Ole Miss defense? We've seen what the Miami defense or the Ole Miss defense can do. But these battles, these little battles are gonna be very interesting to see, man. Carson Beck turned out Chambliss, 2 veteran quarterbacks, and 2 transfer quarterbacks at that. And then you got two great running backs for both teams, Mark Fletcher and Kewan Lacey. Kewan Lacey, 23 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. Very stat popping. And then receiving yards, Malachi Tony obviously with 1,000 yards. And then you got Wallace, all the above, in his whole collective receiving. And then Princely Uman Mielen is going to be the guy with 8 sacks on defense. Is going to have to try to get to Carson Beck as much as he can. It's going to be very interesting to see that. And yeah, like I said, Mesidor and Ruben Bain combined for like fucking 20 sacks at this point. Gotta be, bro. These are guys that get after it, man. It's going to be a very great matchup. VJ, how you feel about this?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I didn't expect.
ACC,
I mean, obviously, I wasn't expecting to see fucking Miami, obviously. But what Miami brings, and what Ole Miss showed against Georgia, it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of just like whoever wakes up on the right side of the bed is gonna win. It's like, does the Ole Miss offense want to fucking just wake up and drop fucking 450 yards and then fucking 4 TDs, or like, does Miami defense want to just get fucking 10 sacks and basically make this game fucking over with the heavy defense? I'll be honest. I kind of like this matchup just because it's just a staple of offense versus defense. Which one is tougher? And I kind of mess with it. I'll be honest with you. So it's not much I can really say apart from that. We've been already talking about these teams, so it's interesting to see.
Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit off topic, but like, bro, yo, Ohio State, bro, what's up, bro? You got JSN wearing a fucking Miami jersey, bro? Not gonna lie, bro. JSN right now currently is the most receiving yard in the NFL right now, But it just like, bro.
Lost a bet, no?
Yeah, he did lost a bet. That's why he's wearing it. I'm just like, yo, bro, what's up, bro?
I thought you like questioning him, bro. I'm like,
no,
it's
just like, bro, it's like, bro, it's like, who would have thought fucking Ohio State was gonna lose to Miami, bro? I just seen that shit. I'm like, yo, bro, our guy right now, Jason, currently leading the NFL with fucking receiving yards, wearing a fucking Miami jersey, bro. Fuck, bro. But anyway, let's back on topic. Yeah, VJ basically said the best, bro. Is Miami defense gonna come out here and just shut shit down, or is fucking Chambliss gonna come out here and have a fucking masterclass again and have his fucking magic and he just run around the field and he just throwing it, across the fucking field and just, to his receivers getting shit done. So it's really, I really don't know which one they're going to what side of the bed they're gonna wake up on, but man, it could be another crazy game, just like how Ole Miss had it against fucking Georgia, where they was going back and forth. Or Miami might just basically shut Ole Miss down, like they basically did to Ohio State. So it's hard to see what side of the ball each team gonna play, because obviously it's college football. Anything can happen. The reverse will be flipped. Shit, Ole Miss defense might wake up and fucking put and just go at it, but in Miami might be the one fucking throwing the ball over the field. Carson Beck he been low key. Haven't been doing much. He need to do what he need to do, and shit, kudos to him. Obviously his defense been, I'm not saying bailing him out, but his Miami defense is the real deal now. And yeah, they in the semifinals, and Carson Beck, as long as he doing his job and Miami defense do his job, I mean, it's hard not to see Miami possibly in that finals game. Man, that's all I got.
You can look up and down this roster. Like, you can take the quarterbacks. I'll probably lean Trinidad.
Yeah.
Kewan Lacey, Mark Fletcher. I'll lean Kewan Lacey. And then Malachi Tony for the receiving yard. So, I don't know how y'all want to look at it. There's so many ways to look at this. Carson Beck is kind of like, he's been low-key. But they beat great teams. The last 2 games is way better than Tulane. But Georgia's a good win too. But Miami has Ohio State and Texas A&M on their resume. And we're not gonna add that if we go to the last 5 games, Pitt and NC State at that. So it's like Miami's very hot and they're beating very good teams pretty easily at this point. And it's just one of them things where it's like, is Carson Beck gonna have one of them games where he shits the bed, or is he gonna have one of them games where he puts up 250 yards or 300 yards and 2 passing touchdowns to go along with it? I think it really heavily favors on Carson Beck's shoulder, because it's one of them things where I think the Ole Miss game plan should be go after this guy. Pete Golding is the former defensive coordinator of this team, and yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see this matchup. And for me, all the questions just lean on Miami, and I'll take Miami as the more high-powered team, the highest ceiling at this point. Ole Miss had a great game, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win. I'm gonna say it again, just like last time, bro. I'm not gonna be surprised if they win, man. But it's just hard to see this team in the college football playoff finals, man. The national championship. Is it gonna be Ole Miss? I try to think about that in my head, bro. How can I think of this ahead? I see Miami in there, man. So I'll take Miami, and Carson Beck coming back for his 5th year of college football, man, and he made the most of it. And hopefully he's fighting for a national championship. VJ, what is your prediction? Is the SEC gonna another team? They got no teams in the playoffs then.
Listen, I'll be honest.
This is SEC football.
I'll be honest with you. I like the stories from both sides for Miami and for Ole Miss. I like the stories, but I just feel like the Ole Miss one strikes me so much more fucking crazier to me. I'll be honest. I would take Ole Miss. I'll take Ole Miss for the fuck of it, bro. I'll take Ole Miss for the fuck of it. It's just like, I like their story. It's so random and it's so like chaotic, especially at the beginning of December with the whole Lane Kiffin shit. And then now they're here, fucking. They look good, and I'll be honest. I mean, the either or honestly don't matter. Both of those teams have more than enough capability to fucking make that national championship fucking run. So I just take Ole Miss for the fuck of it. I just like their story, so I'll go for them.
Miami. Who's a tiebreaker?
I'm going with Miami. Miami just seems like obviously just like it just they've been the same team, not the same team. Obviously they got 2 losses, but the same team of not much has changed on that side. They just so happen to just slip up a little bit, and that's why they got their 2 losses. But in Miami, through and through, they nothing have changed much on that side. I feel like now that they're in playoff, this Carson Beck realized like, hey, we made it through, right? Fucking the committee, allowed us to get through. Let's make the best of this. Obviously, we took the first step of being damn near the number 1 fucking defense in the country. So what else do we got left? You know, so hopefully they don't look too far ahead. You know, I feel like that's basically what got them. You know, their losses in the first place was looking too far ahead. So if they keep playing game by game and just stick to it, I mean, I feel like Miami would probably get it done. Like we all said, we're probably not surprised Ole Miss win. You know, the way their match have been cooking up ever since the Lane Kiffin situation, it seemed like they got like a vendetta. I feel like they're not even going against really the college football world themselves. I feel like they're going against fucking Lane Kiffin. They're like, we don't fucking need you. You know, you want to leave us? Shit, we can go win the national championship without you. That's how I'm feeling from that side. So, yeah. So I'm going with Miami. Yeah. No score prediction though. If you didn't get a score, you just went with Ole Miss, right?
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
Give me a little. I didn't ask. What the fuck?
No, you didn't ask for score prediction because you just said like, who do you think?
I just forgot.
Yeah.
31-21. 31-21. I like that prediction. VJ.
I don't know. Fucking.
Like, bro, it just be fucking like duck shooting, bro. It's like crap shooting, bro. Like, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I don't know. I forget, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. This game could go many ways. This shit could be low scoring. This shit could be high. I don't even know.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, I'd say 34-28.
I'm getting a Miami 28, Ole Miss 20.
Nah, it's literally trusting Carson Beck to get the win. Wow. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is how much can Trinidad is rushing yards for Trinidad gonna be a thing, and also how much can he escape the pocket and extend them plays like he did in the last game. Now moving on to the Big Ten side of the bracket, people calling this the national championship basically. Whoever wins this game is probably gonna win the next game. I don't look at it that way, but that's how people are looking at it. Shout out to Big Ten for getting 2 teams in there. Could have been a third. But Oregon, number 5, goes where? Go to the Peach Bowl to face Indiana. Indiana's undefeated. We talked about them earlier. But Oregon, Dante Moore. You know, I really want to see an Evan Stewart little side mission come in play. But yeah, Oregon coming off that splattering of James Madison. Even though it was kind of close at the end, whatever you want to say. And then beat the hell out of fucking Texas Tech, and then Indiana obviously beat the fuck out of Alabama. And yeah, this is gonna be a very good matchup because this is probably the number 1 and number 2 QB going into this draft if Dante Moore decides to declare. It's gonna be very interesting, very high powered. And this is a rematch from earlier in the season where Indiana kind of like set the record straight of, hey, we're here and we're here to ball out, when they went up to Eugene and went to that stadium in Oregon and beat Oregon and did it pretty easily, winning 30-20. At that time, and yeah, Signetti's gonna have to do it again. Can Signetti do it, VJ? Is he too old?
No.
Is Alzheimer's hitting him?
I think
Crazy.
I think he definitely can do it, but I know Oregon's gonna make that adjustment of, okay, we played y'all first, and we got beat. We got beat in an unexpected way, especially since Oregon was at home. Now you're in kind of a neutral setting. I mean, I'm assuming Indiana's more gonna show out because now they're in more of a better environment for that. So it's like, will that adjustment be made for Oregon? I see it, but at the same time, I use on a fucking, they're on the momentum run, bro. This is just, I don't know, the shit that they're doing to me is just like, yo, these guys want it bad, bro. They want it bad. So, hey, man, I hope to expect a good game. I mean, the last time they played, it was definitely a good game. I'm expecting the same thing, honestly, so I don't expect any different from this one.
Like I've been saying, Oregon, they have not been talked a lot this year. And obviously, with them beating Texas Tech 3-0, it was a slow grinding game, but they got it done. You know, obviously they coming home with some hardware this year, so they're getting this rematch. Obviously, there's number 1 team that is Indiana, who's undefeated, so they got a big hill to climb. But then again, I feel like this is what they're waiting for. They're ready to to flip the world upside down and possibly end this Indiana story they got going, this poetic story they got going on. They're like, all eyes pointing to Indiana. Well, that used to be us last year. Let's go be the one that just to go ruin the season. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. That's what I feel coming from Oregon side. But yeah, yeah, we're just gonna have to see what type of game plan that is. Oregon going to make the adjustment towards Indiana. Obviously, it's like Indiana was able to get it done fucking at Oregon, so it's like, you know, what are they gonna be able to do on neutral sighting, especially with the way Indiana been looking as of late. You know, they just looking purely dominant and not even a questionable dominant either. It was just from start to finish. Maybe the first quarter a little iffy, but second quarter onward, they just be on it. So yeah, Cameron.
It's one of them games where I expect a shootout because these are two great quarterbacks, but there's two great defenses to go along with them. But let me get a 34-31 in favor of the Ducks. The Oregon. I'm gonna keep going against Indiana, man. It's gonna happen eventually, right? Right? VJ, it don't matter to me, bro. I win in the end because Big Ten gonna get this fucking championship again.
But I say, I don't know. I think the biggest winner here in this match, Big Ten, no matter what. So, hey, up the Big Ten's getting the respect. So, give me Indiana and in a 28-24.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Indiana. As much as I don't want to go with Indiana, I'm gonna go with Indiana though. I feel like it's gonna be a close, not a close game. I feel like it's gonna be 2 scoring differences, but it's gonna be a low scoring game. Give me Indiana. I got Indiana scoring 27, and Oregon, I'm gonna give them 17. Yeah.
Y'all both picked Indiana?
Yeah.
Good. Always about to hit. All right. We're going to move into the 2-minute drill, right? Welcome back. We had to kick somebody off the pod.
Yeah.
Someone had to get carted out. We had a
this guy over here.
situation, torn ACL for VJ. Is going to be out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, crazy recovery time.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the 2-minute drill. 2-minute drill. Let's get into it. Alamo Bowl, the Valero Alamo Bowl. Number 16, USC gets upsetted by TCU Horned Frogs. Why is it an upset? Yes, they're without Makai Lemon. Yes, they're without Jacoby Lane. Tanu Kynes came up big for them. He's their number 3, 163, bro. So they're not missing a step for next year. King Miller was in the game with 100 yards. Jaden Mayava, 280 with 2 interceptions. Questionable interceptions at that. Three sacks to go along with USC, and they still lost to Ken Seals. No Josh Hoover. He's into the portal. And 250 yards for him. Was able to get it done. And Eric McAllister has been doing his thing the entire year. 8 receptions for him, 69 yards. And yeah, shout out him for getting it done, man, in overtime as well, bro. And a lot of these bowl games are very close and great bowl games, man. It sucks that it's overshadowed by playoffs, but that's college football schedule for you. Now moving on to the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl. Tongue twister. The Battle of the Orange, Big Ten versus the SEC. Tennessee goes down in an upset, I feel like, bro.
That's crazy.
Illinois wins 30-28. Luke Altmaier in his last game with all these fucking seniors. I think it was like fucking 30-something seniors, which is crazy to me. Luke Altmaier, 200 yards, a touchdown, and fucking Aiden Lawfrey and Khalil Valentine. Those are common names in the backfield, so shout out them. Hank Beatty with 38 yards, Hudson Clement with 48 yards, and they were able to get it done and get the upset, man. And without Chris Brazo, Mike Matthews had to step up with only 43 yards, though. Braylon Staley, 31 yards. Star Thomas, 18 yards. These are guys that are very good. The rushing game was very simple. Deshaun Bishop and Star Thomas, they can get it done. 150 yards for them combined. And yeah, shout out Tennessee for having a great season, but this is one of them games where it's just a shocker that, you know, you lost to the Big Ten. This is SEC football? Guess so, man. At this point. Michigan, speaking of the Big Ten, and yeah, they end up losing this one because they're fucking garbage. Usuals. 27-41. It wasn't as bad as it may seem. Texas had to score 17 points to extend this lead to this much. And yeah, Arch Manning was doing his thing, man. He really he might be out in the favor for next year, bro. He might live up to that expectation, hopefully. 200 yards for him, 2 touchdowns. Arch Manning with 2 touchdowns on the ground too, so 4 touchdowns accounted for. And yeah, they don't have no one in the running back room. Who the fuck is Christian Clark? I don't know, but he had 100 yards to go along with Arch Manning, 155 yards rushing. So yeah, shout out him. Ryan Wingo has been their best receiver, 64 yards with him. So shout out Texas for getting it done in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. And there was a whole big dragon with the made out of Cheez-Its in one of the end zones, bruh. shout out to bowl games that actually care about like the aspect and the whole like the aura of it, I guess. But yeah, Michigan, Bryce Underwood threw for 200 yards, probably his best game. Just try to like be blind to them 3 interceptions. But everything else was pretty good for him. 20 Ks for Cuz though, because Justin Haynes is out. Obviously gonna prepare for the draft and was obviously battling injury. 82 yards for him. And yeah, just you see all these pass catchers, bro. 23 receptions in total for about what was this 4, 8, 11 pass catchers. So shout out Bryce Underwood for putting it together to end off his freshman season. But it comes with a loss, 9-4, and then Texas moves on to 10-3 with a 41-27 win against Michigan. This is SEC football, I'm pretty sure. I don't know at this point. Maybe this is SEC football. Iowa,
Jesus.
and that defense made Diego Pavia's last game.
This is Pavia?
And then the commentators glazing them. They made his fucking last game hell, bro. Iowa put up 34 points. It was fucking shooting that rock, bro. Yeah, and Gronowski threw 200 yards. That's so crazy, bro. 2 touchdowns for him, and then 1 on the ground. Kamari Moen, 95 yards and a touchdown. DJ Vanaheim, whatever, 146 yards, bro. He was hooping. Vander Z had a touchdown. And yeah, these Titans were getting utilized on this team. And yeah, 5 sacks. Diego Pavia was seeing fucking Iowa fucking Hawkeyes jerseys in his nightmares, bro. And yeah, Diego Pavia, 340 yards, bro. 350 yards, basically 2 touchdowns. He did everything from 2 passing touchdowns to 2 rushing touchdowns or 1 rushing touchdown. And yeah, no Stowers because he's going to the draft. Trey Richardson's gonna step up 127 yards. Junior Sherrill, 123 yards. And yeah, their 5-star commit is going to come into an interesting program. And after Vanderbilt loses to the Reliquest Bowl to Iowa 34-27. Is this SEC football? I don't know at this point, bro. They keep making up made up scenarios and shit. They need to win the real games. We got the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. What the fuck that is, I don't know. But Utah got disrespected with their opponent. Why is Nebraska in this game at 7-5? They dropped to 7-6 after a very close first half, I would say. And yeah, after the halftime, I don't know what kicked in, but Devin Pierre was like, I gotta go hoop out there. Let me throw for 300 yards. Let me get 3 rushing touchdowns along with 2 passing touchdowns. That's just who he is, man. Shout out Devin Pierre, and Nebraska defense didn't do shit. But yeah, shout out TJ Lateef for playing decently well in the first quarter or first half. 22 points for him, and they actually had the lead when it was 14-7. I thought they was gonna do something. I thought it was gonna be close. I was like, maybe it's not disrespectful. It was. They doubled their points. Yeah, shout out Dane Key, man. 4 receptions, 28 yards. This dude was supposed to be a big time fucking wide receiver transfer, and he didn't do much, man. Shout out Utah for winning the Las Vegas Bowl. All right, the Battle of the Devils, bruh. Arizona State Sun Devils versus the Duke Blue Devils. Grab your holy water. It's a Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, man. Bro, motherfucker scoring touchdowns, and there's like a blow-up fucking Frosted Flakes.
Oh, yeah.
Like little, like fucking little kiddie pool.
Yeah.
Bro, they jump in there doing a Marshawn Lynch, bro. I fuck with that, man. Shout out to Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. But the Sun Devils lose in the Sun Bowl, 39-42 in a shootout, man. Everything was going back and forth, bro. Jeff Sims, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns. Too bad he's a senior, because if he would come back, he would be able to be the starter. 70 yards rushing. Jason Brown, I don't know where he came from, 134 yards for him. And yeah, pass catches. Jalen Moss, 129 yards. Also had a fumble, and then Jason Brown, our running back, also had a fumble. It was just back and forth, bro. I ain't gonna lie, no defense was being played. But there was also a lot of turnovers, bro. With Darian Mensah throwing 4 touchdowns, but an interception to go along with it, 300 yards for him. Nate Shepard, the true freshman running back, 170 yards, a touchdown. Darian Mensah with 21 yards. Yeah, it took a couple sacks, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 2 sacks. But yeah, shout out the defense, bro. They was getting hella turnovers, but there was also hella points being scored. It was a back and forth game, and yeah, this is probably one of the best bowl games, man. And shout out the Big 12 and ACC for putting this matchup up. And shout out Jeff Sims and Darian Mensah, bro. 2 great quarterbacks playing against each other. Darian Mensah should come back for Duke, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he plays next year. Arizona fall to SMU. Had a great season. I thought Arizona was gonna get that 10 wins, bro. But the Mustangs stopped that. And yeah. No Fafita, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's their guy, man. Led the team in rush yards too. He's a big play capper, bruh. And he didn't really have the big plays until the second half, where they tried to make the comeback. Fourth down conversion in the red zone didn't go their way, and that really was costing them the game, man. Hudson versus Hudson, Chris Hudson versus Jordan Hudson on both sides of the receivers. And yeah, SMU Kevin Jennings 278 yards, 3 interceptions. Just we just stopped looking after we get past the touchdowns with 0. And then TJ Harden with 2 touchdowns, 40 yards, and that was just enough to get it done, bro. Kevin Jennings was really trying to choke that at the end. He had I think all 3 of them in the second half. That's the word I'm trying to look for. And yeah, SMU wins the Trust and Will Holiday Bowl. What the fuck is going on there, bro? I don't know what that name is, but yeah, shout out to Mustangs for getting it done. And Arizona still had a great season, man. They're still ranked 17th, bro. Almost got 10 wins. Navy pulls off the upset against Cincinnati. This is a very chippy game. It was hella rain, bro. There was an AutoZone logo on the field, bro, and the Cincinnati players wore white. They were looking orange at that point. And Blake Horvath, shout out him for having a great season, bro. Only threw it 15 times, but very efficient with his passing, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. And yeah, look at all these fucking runners, bro. This is what Navy does, bro. And they capped off a great season with another win to move on to 11-2. This is their back-to-back seasons is the best 2 seasons they've ever had in their program history. I'm pretty sure this is one of the most wins they've had in program history as well. But yeah, Cincinnati know Brendan Sorsby to lift you up and be Superman. But yeah, 10 for 15 for Brady Lichtenberg, and Samaj Jones came in there as well. I don't know what the fuck I was looking at, bro. This is a very chippy game, like I said, bro. It was raining. They were getting after in the first half, and then it was Navy's outscoring y'all, bro. Y'all can't be competing with them, bro. In their fucking Navy, lock in, and then they didn't lock in, bro. And they still was being chippy with it, hella flags, and yeah, you lost the game and got blown out in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Shout out Navy for doing that. Final game, we got the Duke's Mayo Bowl, the Mayonnaise Bowl. Yeah, Wake Forest Demon Deacons pull off the upset against the SEC football. This is SEC football. And the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Kamaro Taylor got injured towards the end of the game, so hopefully he's good. He's supposed to be their future true freshman. Finally got the start. 13 for 22 for him, 241 yards, 1 touchdown passing, and then 1 touchdown rushing with 18 carries for 63 yards for that Kamaro Taylor guy. They end up falling 43 to 29 to Wake Forest, and yeah, Wake Forest just capped off a great season. Robbie Ashford at quarterback, playing good football. Very interesting to see. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns for him. I'm pretty sure he's a senior, so he's not coming back. So shout out to him for getting that last win in Duke's Mayo Bowl. 50 yards for him rushing, and then Ty Clark the third, 91 yards. Also rushing, and then he led the team in fucking receiving yards with the 62 long was the cat buster play. 73 yards for him. And yeah, Wake Forest, bro, underrated team, man, but they was able to get it done, man. It's very interesting, man, how this is SEC football. They came and beat Wake Forest out of fucking ACC, and that will cap off the 2-minute drill. We gonna get right into the news. You have anything to say, Slicks?
Nope. Yeah. So, but I do see a lot of the fire games that just definitely get overshadowed by the playoff. But it is what it is, bro.
It sucks, man. It sucks. It's just a lot of a couple overtime games and just a lot of close games, man. A lot of dream matchups that we don't see really on the field too often. So yeah, shout out them. Let's get into the news / transfer portal news. Just gonna be some Ole Miss re-signings. Keywan Lacey returning for Ole Miss in 2026, and people are making fun of Lane Kiffin because they was like, "Oh, he took the guys that didn't matter, bruh. He's not keeping the key guys." It's just funny as hell, bruh. Bro took all the shit players. But yeah, shout out Keywan Lacey. I forget where he transferred from. I think he transferred from Mississippi State or some shit. But Keywan Lacey transferred to Ole Miss this year. Was basically led the whole collegiate fucking FBS in rushing touchdowns, I'm pretty sure, and close for rushing yards. 1,400 yards with 23 touchdowns go along with it as a true sophomore. So once he draft eligible, they gonna get after him. And it's good that Ole Miss was able to re-sign him. And then going along with Keywan Lacey, they're trying to keep the backfield together. Trinidad Chambliss reached a deal for 2026, and this is if he's able to be granted the 6th year of eligibility. Basically, he had a redshirt season. I'm pretty sure a medical redshirt season when he was at Ferris State, and then it was another season. And if it wasn't medical, it was just because he didn't have no time to play, and he just used that red shirt then. But he's trying to get a medical red shirt for a year where he didn't play not one snap, and he was a medical red shirt. So hopefully the NCAA can. I ain't gonna lie, I really don't hope the NCAA gives him the 6th year, because I think if he goes to the draft, he'll be like a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick potentially, bro. So I think if he waits another year, I don't know if he's able to reach the heights of the 1st or 2nd round. So hopefully he doesn't get it, in my opinion, bro, because this is a very weak draft class and he can go in there and ball out. But Ole Miss has basically reached a deal. Hey, if you do get that medical red shirt, come back over here. And that just leaves LSU with a whole bunch more questions. And just, hey, man, I'm glad that these guys are staying loyal to the program. And they're not getting poached by Lane Kiffin and that whole coaching staff and shit, bruh. And what they're doing, bruh. But yeah, that's really all for news. Just a couple re-signings that I wanted to get to because these are key players for Ole Miss and a team that's in the Final Four and, potentially could run it back next year with the same duo in the backfield. Now moving on, we got the transfer portal news. Transfer portal is open, been open for about 4 or 5 days. We see a lot of people going in. We're not gonna talk about the people going in. We're gonna see the people that committed and the very interesting things that's already happened. And look at a lot of teams and who their potential starters are gonna be next year, key players. And we're gonna talk about the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They basically poached everybody from North Texas, and that's where Eric Morse is coming from. And yeah, just brought in a lot of guys. Biggest ones being Wyatt Young, the true junior. Wide receiver. I'm pretty sure he's going to be true junior next year. Drew Mestamaker, the quarterback, and then obviously Caleb Hawkins. We talk about Keywan Lacey being one of those guys that's leading the FBS and touchdowns. Caleb Hawkins right there behind him or in front of him. I don't know. I don't know the count at this point. I think Keywan Lacey has more because he played more games. But yeah, just whole roster's getting flipped, and this is this is what college football is at the moment. You just got to live with it. But yeah, shout out Oklahoma State for bringing the key guys over from North Texas, doing what Lane should be doing. And now we move on to the Penn State Cyclones, or the Penn State Nittany Cyclones, whatever you want to call them, because yeah, they're poaching everybody from Iowa State, and yeah, biggest one being Rocco Beck. Rocco Beck's gonna come over. Carson Henson also is gonna be that running back for Penn State potentially. I don't know if he's gonna be a starter, but he was a great backup as well, or he was a 1-2 duo with Abu Sama, who we're gonna talk about later. Shout out Rocco Beck for going over to Penn State for his final year of eligibility, I'm pretty sure, and see what he could cook up over there in the Big Ten. And now we move on to the Auburn Tiger Bulls, or Auburn Bulls, whatever you want to call them. Byron Brown, biggest one. USF brought him over to Auburn. Well, I guess not USF, but he left USF to go to Auburn. And yeah, Ashton Daniels, we'll talk about him later. He was supposed to be a starter. I thought was going to be a starter next year because he did use a red shirt this year, and he's not going to be there. Byron Brown is going to take over, and also Jeremiah Coger. I'm pretty sure he's an all-conference player, great wide receiver, and he's going to join Byron Brown in Auburn for next year. So yeah, shout out these rosters for flipping, and shout out the head coaches for making so much of an impact on these players that they flip schools just because of this one person, and some of the coaching staff, obviously. Now we move on to talk about Abu Sama. He's committed to Wisconsin. Wisconsin is known for producing good backs, and this guy was kind of him at Iowa State. Didn't put up the craziest numbers because he was sharing Carson Hansen's snap count, but this is a guy that's very interesting. True junior, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, see what he could do over there in the Big Ten as well with Wisconsin. They need somebody in the backfield, bruh. And yeah, Now we move on to the ACC. We got a little football to talk about with them because Lincoln Kienholz goes from Ohio State to Louisville, and yeah, Isaac Brown basically went to the transfer portal, running back, and yeah, once Lincoln Kienholz decided to commit there, they were like, yeah, I'll come back too. Isaac Brown was probably one of the most sought after running backs in the class, and yeah, shout out him for coming back, bro. He regretted his decision immediately, bro. Ooh, what's out in the portal? Texas. Fuck no, I'll stay in the ACC real quick. Go with Louisville. And speaking of Wisconsin from earlier, Billy Edwards goes from Wisconsin to North Carolina. I think he's grasping at straws at this point. I don't know if this guy's gonna start next year for Belly. But hopefully he can do something, bro. But this dude, I don't know why he wouldn't just take a step down unless he is 100% confirmed that he's gonna be starting, which I don't think he's gonna get that from Bill. But yeah, shout out Billy Edwards. Yeah, redshirt senior, man. One more year of eligibility at least. You get to learn behind Bill at least. Colton Joseph, ODU, and yeah, we're talking about the same teams around the same time. They lose Billy Edwards, get Colton Joseph from ODU. Very experienced quarterback, not experienced, but very good quarterback, capable. I'm glad he made the jump to the next level, and yeah, he's gonna be at Wisconsin next year, and hopefully he doesn't get injured. Because I don't know what Luke Fickell's doing over there. I don't know what type of black magic he's doing, what he do to football gods, but he keeps losing quarterbacks to injuries every single day. I feel like so hopefully Colton Joseph doesn't fall to that. Now I move on to Josh Hoover, and this is one of the biggest signings because Indiana has their next quarterback, and he has one more year of eligibility, and now TCU loses their 4-year basically starter. And yeah, Josh Hoover originally committed to Indiana coming out of high school, and then basically flipped his commit to TCU, and yeah, now he's gonna go on to Indiana and be the next quarterback while Indiana's still in the playoffs. So Cignetti's working overtime right now. I don't know how much sleep he's getting, but it doesn't seem like much. Nick Marsh is also going to be catching balls from Josh Hoover, so shout out him. Michigan State, I wouldn't say standout because he didn't have no one throwing it to him. He had Aiden fucking Childs, but he has a lot of hype going to Indiana and see what he can do for next year with Josh Hoover as his quarterback, and he's a true sophomore. So yeah, shout out Nick Marsh, man. One of the more sought after wide receivers in the portal. Now we move on to a little bit, humbling news. Alonza Barnett III, JMU quarterback. JMU is obviously in the playoffs, so shout out him for leading the charge. Great rusher, going to go to UCF and see what he could do over there in the Big 12. What can he cook up over there? Going to be very interesting. So because he should be obviously the starter, that's why he committed there. Took the jump to the Power 4 level and see what he could do there at UCF. Now we move on to Kenny Minchie. This dude's a little funny, bro. He originally committed like the day after signing day to Nebraska, and it was like, ooh, they got TJ Lateef, so he's gonna join the battle. If you don't know, Kenny Minchie basically has been in multiple QB battles. Redshirt sophomore, but he basically lost 2 starting jobs to what was it, Riley Leonard, and then this year to CJ Carr, and he's basically played the competition, bro. He won the ball out, bro, but he's lost both of them. And I'm pretty sure he's a redshirt sophomore, so he's been there 3 years, I'm pretty sure, and lost all 3 battles before Riley Leonard. I can't think of who it was, but yeah, he flipped to Nebraska, or went to Nebraska originally, and then flipped to Kentucky, and Kentucky was supposed to be rumored to get Sam Levitt, so they went from Sam Levitt to Kenny Minchie. So they had to tell Kenny Minchie, hey, we're not getting Sam Levitt because he's the one. I don't think he should be starting right now. I'm not gonna lie. But the fact that he's not, it means he wants to go to a team where he's gonna be known as a starter. If Sam Levitt comes there, well, you're not starting, buddy. But you're gonna be able to play SEC football at Kentucky, and I don't know how good you're gonna be. But hopefully he can make somewhat of a career for himself. But yeah, that flip from Nebraska to Kentucky is just what the NIL era is, man. This is what the transfer portal is, bro. Motherfuckers flipping commits in the middle of the transfer portal. What is going on right now? And yeah. It is exactly what they're talking about with the whole Sam Levitt thing. And yeah, after Stein left, or they added Stein to Kentucky, Cutter Boley decided to leave. And where's Cutter Boley at? And yeah, basically Cutter Boley, it was like Sam Levitt's going to go to Kentucky, and then Cutter Boley hard committed to Arizona State. So it's going to be very interesting to see Cutter Boley because he's a true sophomore. This is only his second season this year. Or I guess next season. And yeah, he's a freshman for Kentucky. And once Stein came in, it was kind of like, hey, you have this 5-star, I think borderline 5-star QB commit that kind of left y'all and hit the portal. I wish Stein would have tried to bring him back because he has 3 years of eligibility left and he could go ball out for Arizona State now. And yeah, shout out Cutter Boley. I thought we were going to see a trade, but yeah, Kenny Minchie kind of fucked that up. A very underrated signing for Indiana, Turbo Richard. He's going to be their next running back in the backfield, true sophomore, one of the only bright spots on Boston College at this moment. And yeah, it just sucks that Boston College is getting poached because they're probably the worst arguably the worst Power 4 program. And to go along with it, they lost their Alabama transfer from last year. He went to Rutgers now, going to play in the Big Ten. And yeah, it sucks because Boston College basically lost their backfield. That was actually decent. Like they had a lot of room to grow, and he's a redshirt sophomore at that. And yeah, Rutgers get their next quarterback. And speaking of Rutgers, we can go to Ian Strong for this one. Ian Strong was probably their best pass catcher. And yeah, Rutgers lose him to Cal. Cal got JKS coming back for his sophomore year, and Ian Strong, true junior now. So it's going to be very interesting to see Ian Strong in his 6'4" frame with JKS and Ian Strong's long catch radius. He's going to make JKS look even more better. So that Cal team is looking very dangerous. This is a very underrated signing, in my opinion. Jaden Craig goes from Harvard to TCU. This is Josh Hoover's replacement, basically. He jumped up to the Group of 5 level. A great underrated signing. I feel like it's going to go unnoticed, but Jaden Craig could do something in the Big 12 if you give him the right keys. And speaking of right keys, Caden Hauser, one of the better non-group of 4 or a better group of 4 QB, probably the best one in ECU, goes to Illinois. Illinois get their next quarterback in Caden Hauser. And yeah, he's going to play at the Power 4 level. Glad he made the jump, and glad he's able to commit to a team where he knows he's going to get the starting job, because you never want to go there and just, oh, am I going to get the starting job? Because you want to use the transfer portal to find your forever home. That's what I call it. And yeah, shout out Caden Hauser for hopefully finding that. And yeah, the biggest one probably today is probably Brendan Sorsby. He's basically hard committed to Texas Tech. He basically visited LSU, and then hours after he visited LSU, he basically committed to Texas Tech, and there's a reported $5 million signing for Brendan Sorsby. That's what Texas Tech had to throw at him. And I heard he also FaceTime Patrick Mahomes talking about he's going to bring a national championship to or Lubbock, however you fucking say that town. But yeah, shout out Brendan Sorsby. Hopefully he can live up to the hype, because there's a lot of hype, bro. Then we move on to one of the better wide receivers in the portal, Omarion Miller out of Colorado. You know, losing all them players, he's gonna hard to commit to Arizona State to go with Cutter Boley, bro. He's a true junior, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what they can cook up over there in Arizona State. Do they got their Levitt and Jordan Tyson from Wish? That's basically what this is at this point. Shout out Omarion Miller for finding his forever home, hopefully. Trey Wisner goes from Texas and probably gonna be a starter next year. And hard commits to Florida State. That's an interesting one. And Florida State got a couple sneaky guys there, and Trey Wisner being the biggest one at that. Was probably the best back coming out of Texas, and was very questionable why he left the Longhorns. Maybe they had bigger plans at the running back position. But the biggest running back on the market, Hollywood Smothers, is not going to Texas. He's gonna go to Alabama. Alabama needs a run game. Hollywood Smothers helps you with that. And yeah, C.J. Bailey told NC State that he's coming back. He's not entering the portal, and yeah, he has no one in the backfield to hand it off to. So it's gonna be a very interesting dynamic for NC State that Hollywood Smothers no longer has to care about because he's going to Alabama. So shout out Hollywood Smothers. He should be that starter next year, but I don't know how Alabama thinks about it. But Ashton Daniels goes from Auburn. I thought he was going to get the starting job for next year. I thought that's why he redshirted, but no, it was more of hey, Byron Brown's here. Let me get the fuck out of Dodge, man. Let me go to Florida State. So that backfield is going to be Ashton Daniels handing off to Trey Wisner. Going to be very interesting to see, and this is what the transfer portal is, just to build better backfields and build better team and rosters. And shout out Ashton Daniels is going to be a true senior, last year of eligibility, and yeah, he's going to play his last season in Florida State. Hopefully it's not a disaster. Austin Simmons basically shut off all the phone calls, said, hey, do not contact me. I'm going to reach out to the teams I want and or team I want. And I know where I want to play. I want to play in Missouri. He's going to Mizzou to replace Bo Perbula. And yeah, Austin Simmons was basically the guy that no one's talking about with this Ole Miss team. He started, I think, the first 2 games, got injured in the 3rd game. Trinidad Chambliss came in, relieved him of his duty. He said, I'm better than you, buddy. You're a redshirt sophomore. Humble yourself. And humble him, he did. And now he's sitting on his Ole Miss roster. And he was supposed to get the keys for next year, but it's Trinidad Chambliss coming back next year. Well, I'm not waiting, and I only came here for Lane Kiffin probably, and that's probably what he said, and then moved on to Mizzou. This is a very underrated signing for Mizzou because Austin Simmons, I'm pretty sure he's a 4-star QB coming out of high school, and yeah, Mizzou got their next guy. Speaking of the next guy, Aaron Philo, I'm pretty sure he was a 4-star coming out of high school or somewhere around there because he was Georgia Tech's biggest QB commit to date, and he decided to jump ship after Haynes King's going through the draft, or he's a senior. He hard committed to John Summerall in Florida, which is a very interesting pick, but could lead to something bigger and better. Was a true freshman last year, or maybe he's a redshirt freshman. I not know that. But yeah, he looks like he's going to his 3rd year of eligibility, and yeah, or 2nd year of eligibility with the redshirt. And yeah, going to go to Florida, see what he can cook down there with John Summerall. And probably the biggest one and the most interesting one, Parker Livingston, who put up 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. Biggest one being in that Ohio State game. I remember him. Yeah, he basically flipped from Texas to Oklahoma. This is Arch Manning's fucking roommate, bruh. He flipped from Texas to Oklahoma, bruh. These are 2 like bitter rivals, bruh. And this dude flipped. I mean, I don't know, bro. That's crazy to me, man. But yeah, shout out Livingston, man. I don't know what they're paying him, but yo, he's a great wide receiver, and hopefully Oklahoma can make the most out of him. Ain't gonna lie, Indiana offering is crazy, yo. But yeah, shout out Parker Livingston. But yeah, this is crazy. Just flipping to the rival in like a heated rivalry at that is insane to me. But yeah, shout out Parker Livingston, man. Now we'll conclude the transfer portal for now. Hella on the market. Yeah. DJ Lagway projected to go to Baylor. A lot of people just taking visits at this point. And yeah, Dylan Raiola still on the market. Just a lot of big key guys. And yeah, DJ Lagway's dad pretty sure played for Baylor. And Dylan Raiola, there's spots running out of this Power 4 level, buddy. Might want to figure something out. But yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
I got one more thing. I seen there was a lot of like Wisconsin transfers. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Bryce West has committed to Wisconsin. If you want to put that up,
I did see that.
You did see that, yeah. So, Bryce West is former 4-star, 5-star coming out of high school, coming to Ohio State, and now he entered transfer portal. We ain't know he's gonna come back, but obviously he seems like him falling down in the depth charts. He's just like, you know what, let me go to fucking Wisconsin. So that seems like that's where he's going to be at next year. That is Wisconsin. Yeah. I mean, it seems like Wisconsin's cooking up.
Building a good roster, man.
They're low-key cooking over there, bro. So, yeah. I mean, with that being said, any final thoughts? And if not, time to wrap this thing up.
Get ready, bro.
Yeah.
Semifinals right around the corner. More transfer portal news on the daily. I can't even keep track with this shit, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Look at my phone, bro. It's a new update, bro. It's hella players.
Yeah, bro. I seen all them type jokes. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. I knew that was nothing but transfer portal too. I knew it.
Bro, and then VJ had to leave. I'm like, fuck, bro. I can't really cut this shit down. I got something to say about everybody else.
Yeah, I was like, we ain't no way we about to cut this down. You go ahead and do your thing. We finna wrap this up because I know you're probably not even gonna go over next week because probably fucking next week news gonna be even more. So I was like, bro, I'm like, that's not even worth it, bro. So we gonna finish it out without him. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, I mean, Cameron said we'll semifinal this weekend, and then next week it basically might be the last pod because it'll be the preview, right? We're looking to preview. Yeah.
Nah, we'll react to the finals now.
No,
because it'll be transfer portal news.
Yeah, I mean, it's
getting fired probably.
Maybe. I mean,
nah, not really. I mean, no.
It's just gonna be a lot of transfer portal news, to be honest. So
yeah, I was trying to think of other news topics, but
yeah. I mean, as the pod coming on, obviously the college football season coming to end soon, and once we hit the off season, we're probably gonna get a good enough bunch of news before releasing another episode. We're not just gonna push out a episode every week that's just transfer portal news. We're probably gonna collect the big news, and then compile into a video like we always do. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, college football coming to an end. It's been fun. Obviously, we're about to wrap this thing up right here, but we're gonna be back next week again at reviewing the post game of Ole Miss and Miami and Indiana, Oregon, and then we'll look into who is gonna be facing each other in the national championship. Will there be a new face? Obviously, it's gonna be a new face, but will it be Miami? Will it be Ole Miss? Yeah, Miami is technically the only.
Miami's won it 20 years ago.
Yeah, so
the U was back.
The U. But yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, if you guys watch the video to the end of the video, consider clicking that subscribe button as it help out the channel a lot. But also, since you're already down, consider clicking that like button as well, as it tremendously really do help out the channel. But if you guys are interested, like I said, we went over Miami, Ohio State on the Buckeye Fan Film Room that was posted yesterday. But obviously there's other podcasts on the channel as well. If you're interested, just scroll around, look for something that you want to watch. Obviously the two college football, that is one being Buckeye Fan Film Room, this is the one for the end. But we have Call of Duty, the CDL pod, which is WCOMP, and we also have an anime podcast that is the Plot Armor podcast. So if you guys are interested in that, like I said, it's on the channel, it's on the Block Takeover channel. That's where you guys are watching it now. But yeah, with that being said, we appreciate all the love and support. We'll catch you guys when we catch you next. Peace.